Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Adam Thurgood. I'm here at Trust, based down in Cirencester. And obviously today we're going to be taking a bit of a deeper dive into discovering the foundations for a true customer experience. I'm joined today with Vanita. Vanita, if you just want to quickly introduce yourself.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Vanita Natoewal. I am the IoT specialist for Cisco Meraki. So that means that I know everything about our smart cameras and sensors. So yeah, happy to be here today and nice to meet you all.
Wonderful. Thank you, Vanita. And as a bit of context, really, before we kind of get into the nitty and gritty of things, here at Trust, we are a managed service provider. Now, we have over 20 years experience, primarily in the retail and extended retail sector, which I think keeps things nice and relevant today. And now, effectively, we help to provide a consultative approach, which means we help to design, implement, and manage a range of digital technology solutions, including Cisco Meraki, to effectively enable a digital first business. And it's all tailored around varying business strategies. Now, myself, with my experience, I get the pleasure of speaking to retailers on a daily basis. So it's a really great opportunity to understand what's kind of on the forefront of businesses' minds. And I think there's a clear and obvious trend at the moment of companies who are looking to bring more digital solutions into their store. Now, for some, that could be to streamline operations. For others, it's for colleague interaction. Consistently, I hear it's about collecting data and providing more insight into that customer journey. But whatever people say, consistently, it comes down to improving that customer experience. Now, none of this, depending on whatever the underlying strategy is, none of it's possible unless you have robust connectivity infrastructure, which I think leads nicely on to what we're exploring today and what Vanita is going to be looking into in a little bit more detail. So, Vanita, over to you.
Thank you so much. So in today's session, we're going to speak about how we can actually improve the customer experience. So what's really important to note is the following. In today's session, we will be speaking on how you can improve the customer experience. But let's go back to the beginnings of Meraki and what our solution actually entails. Our Meraki smart cameras and sensors are actually developed on a more streamlined architecture in comparison to what traditional vendors can do. So that means that we, as Meraki, we make sure that you can do everything on the device itself. So you don't need an NVR anymore, you don't need a DVR anymore. You're not reliant on any other hardware equipment. So everything happens on the cameras itself. So just to give you an example, the cameras that you see over here, for instance, the storage capacity sits on the device itself that you can build out depending on the model that you choose. The brain sits on the camera itself. So this means that the video is analyzed in real time on the edge. And last but not least, all the analytical features sits on the camera itself as well and is being done on the camera itself. And the good thing about it, in comparison to the traditional vendors, is that you're never reliant on other hardware equipment anymore, like with traditional vendors, right? So this is how we differentiate ourselves. And I think it's also important to note that we're a cloud-based solution. So that means that you can access your data really easily via the dashboard. And the dashboard is accessible via a web browser. So the only thing that you would need is the internet. And via the internet, if you type in dashboard.meraki.com, for instance, you will be able to be redirected to your own dashboard once you have logged in. What's important to note is that all of our cameras and sensors basically had the whole Cisco Meraki portfolio, because we do even more than just cameras and sensors. We also do wireless, we also offer switches, etc. They're all equipped with a Trust Anchor module chip. And what is a Trust Anchor module chip? It's basically a proprietary technology that we have developed that encrypts all your data and that ensures the authentication process, so that your device is only communicating to your dashboard only, because the last thing that we want is for your data to fall in other people's hands. So we make sure that your data is encrypted at all times, so in transit and at rest. Well, what are the benefits that people note when deploying our cameras? Very simply put, they notice that once they have deployed our cameras, that they actually discover that their ROI, so return on investment, actually increases within 3 years. And the reason for that being is because you save on maintenance cost, you save on the time that you spend on configuring and maintaining and updating the cameras. You spend money on video storage costs because you don't need that equipment anymore. Hey, you don't need any local service anymore, and you save on the time spent on accessing and sharing footage and reducing energy cost. For the sensors, we have this in our portfolio. So each sensor will allow you to perform a certain task. So just to give an example, the MT10 helps to detect the temperature in the room and the humidity levels. The door open close sensor is able to, send out an alert every time, a door opens or closes. So let's say that you have a shop and you have a vault located in a particular area, then you can basically apply and install this door open close sensor there, and every time that somebody enters the room with the vault, an alert is being sent out to you with a snapshot of the camera where you can actually see then what's happening. We have the smart power controller that helps you to measure the energy consumption. We have the indoor air quality sensor that is able to measure the TVOC levels, the temperature levels, the humidity levels, the ambient noise, the CO2 levels, etc., etc. We have the temperature probe that's often used in freezers, and we have the smart automation button that you can use for simple tasks like, for instance, putting it at the customer service desk. And the minute that a customer actually arrives at the customer service desk, but nobody's there to attend to the customer, they can press this button, and then an alert is being sent out to the customer service representative to notify them that somebody's waiting at the front desk and needs to be helped. So this is basically what we have in our portfolio for the sensors. These numbers over here are actually numbers that our customers have noted when it comes to deploying the sensor. So they noted a 175% increase of their ROI within the first 12 months. And the reason for it being is because obviously they saved on installation and maintenance cost, the configuration cost, cable cost, and they didn't spend a lot of time on integrating the solution. And the reason for it being is because these sensors, they work with BLE connectivity. So Bluetooth, basically via Bluetooth, they're connected to a gateway, such as a Meraki camera or a Meraki access point, and then all the data is being sent to the Meraki dashboard. So all in all, what we aim to do is we help you to reduce CapEx, and we help you to reduce the OpEx as an organization. Now, we are talking obviously about how we can help you to improve the customer experience. So the way how we help you is, for instance, we help you to reduce complexity in operations. We help you to automate business processes and operations. We help you to provide you with data so you can actually improve the customer and user experience. We help you to ensure the safety and security in various environments. We help you to enable staff to be more productive and efficient. And last but not least, we help you to make operations more sustainable and cost effective. Now, this is basically what we do natively on the cameras. So what happens if you want to go one step further and you want to actually do a little bit of a deep dive into the analytical part? Well, that's possible. We have a Meraki ecosystem network, which consists out of more than 250 Meraki ecosystem partners that have developed APIs that you can directly deploy on our cameras and our sensors. And with these APIs, you can actually measure, for instance, you can improve the customer experience, you can measure footfall traffic, you can do people detection and counting, you can, for instance, improve the efficiency and productivity of your staff. So you can do a lot of things. Just to give you an example, this is, for instance, MeltCX, one of our ecosystem partners, and they are able to do people counting really well, where they're able to show you also if people are happy or sad or whether they look neutral. And just to give you an idea, they use our cameras and sensors as the eyes and ears. So our cameras, our sensors are used as the basic skeleton, so to say, as the basic architecture, and as the eyes and the ears. And then that data is being fed back into the API that our partners have developed. And this is also one of the other things that they can do to help you improve customer experience. So they help you to map out the customer journey, where you see somebody then walking in the store, and they can track then the shelf engagement, the product engagement, how long people are dwelling into a certain area, et cetera, et cetera. So they're also able to, for instance, do theft detection. So our Meraki ecosystem partners have developed an API that allows you to do theft detection, so that you are able to teach the system then what suspicious behavior looks like. And after you have taught the system how to identify suspicious circumstances, it will be able to notify you then in that respect, and show you and alert you every time suspicious activity takes place. But there are also other things that you can do with the Meraki ecosystem partners that we have in our portfolio that have developed APIs that you can deploy in our cameras and sensors. For instance, if you have a parking lot as a retail company, you can enforce and manage your parking lot. You can do retail cost management, retail operations excellence. You can enhance the revenue analytics. You can actually focus on retail loss prevention. So there are lots of things that you can do with the APIs that our ecosystem partners have developed. Now, one of the other things that I want to share now, the Meraki dashboard, because obviously I can imagine that you want to understand what our dashboard actually looks like. Well, this is our Meraki dashboard, and these are all the networks that we have worldwide. So just to give you an idea, I'm located in the Netherlands. I'm Dutch, so I'm located around Utrecht. And as you can see from the comfort of my own home, by using the internet, I can access the Meraki dashboard after having successfully completed the authentication process. And then after that has been completed successfully, I can access any of these dashboards that you see over here, any of these networks that you see over here. So let me go into the San Francisco dashboard. So this is basically what the dashboard looks like. Here on the left-hand side, you see all the products that we have implemented in the Meraki San Francisco office. As you can see, we have implemented switches, access points, security and SD-WAN solutions, and then obviously also our cameras and our sensors. Now, one of the first things that I always do is I look at how my network is performing. So here you can actually see the health of your environment and if there are any issues. So now, if I go to the cameras page, I can actually look at the cameras in detail. I'm going to access the overview page now. And here you can also see what's online for the cameras that I have deployed over there, what's alerting, what's offline, and what's dormant. Just for you to understand, dormant cameras are cameras that have not been transmitting any data for over 1.5 to 2 weeks. If you click on these, for instance, you see all the cameras listed over here that are dormant. And if I click on any of these cameras and I go to network, I can actually see a notification here that says that the camera has been unreachable for over 1 month and how to resolve this error. So it actually prompts me to troubleshoot immediately if I want to. And troubleshooting is done really easily. So just for you to understand, you can ping the camera, you can run the LEDs, you can trace route the camera, so you can actually perform an analytical search to actually retrace your steps and see where it actually goes wrong. So there are a number of things that you can do to troubleshoot, as well as you can create obviously a case, a technical support case, and then ask for technical assistance to one of our technical support representatives. Now, about the cameras, let's go to the ones that are currently online. So one of the things that I also like to do is I want to go to the video wall. In the video wall, you can actually see in one single overview what's happening in the bike entryway, or what's happening in the bike room, or what's happening on the stairwells. And these are all live views, okay? You can also see what's happening outside the terrace or on the fifth floor coffee bar. And you can create as many video walls as you want. And each video wall can comprise up to 16 cameras, okay? Now, one of the things that you can do with our cameras, and I'm talking about the analytical features, is the following. And I will show you that in detail. If I go to the MV63 camera, is, for instance, a motion search. Let's say that something has happened in your retail shop, and an incident has occurred and you want to be able to actually retrace those steps and you want to retrieve that historical footage. What you do then is you basically select the area where you want to conduct that research. You choose the time and the date, 2 p.m., and then the camera springs back to that particular time, hour and date in mind, and it shows you exactly what has happened. So these orange blocks actually signal movement. So every time you see an orange block here, it signals movement. And then you see currently, okay, somebody walking upstairs. But we made it even easier for you because below you can see motion recap images. And motion recap images are images that capture the motion in that particular time frame in one single image, okay? So here, for instance, you see a clip of that lasts for 5.7 seconds, but then summarized into one single frame. And you can play the video if you want to, you can download the image, you can export it, and you can share it with whomever you want, but you don't have to watch the whole footage anymore because the footage is basically summarized into one single image. One of the other things that we do to help you improve the customer experience is also we help you as an organization, for instance, to do people counting, because all of our cameras are able to detect people and vehicles, audio, sirens, alarms, etc. So one of the things that we're able to do is we help you to perform people counting. So if you want to find out in your shop how many people are visiting a particular area in the shop, you can basically draw a square over here and then tell the system that you want to start counting the number of people that are moving in this area for instance, in this case, 5 seconds. And then you get an indication here expressed in a graph on how many people are walking in that particular area. The reason why it's helpful to help you improve the customer experience is because you can then actually tell, what customers kind of find interesting in your shop. Are they hanging around a certain rack in your shop that has very valuable clothing? Or maybe do they hang around, a rack where only sale items are placed? So it gives you an indication, where a lot of activity is being is taking place and how to organize your shop. We can also offer you line crossing. So our line crossing feature actually helps you, for instance, also with people counting, to give you an indication on how many people are visiting your store. And the reason why this is really interesting is because every store, has a certain occupancy rate, but also you want to understand, how many people you should put in the store, as in employees, to service your guests. So if not a lot of people are walking around, for instance, between let's say between 12 and 6, then it would suffice to just put one employee there. Or if the store happens to receive lots of customers always between let's say 12 to 6 in this case, then it would help, to put more people, more employees in the store that can service and provide your customers with the best experience possible. So here, you also see these tables where you see, okay, busiest time is around 12 to 1 on the 9th of July. And we see that 122 people come in and 99 people come out. And then here we have another type of analytics that can help you to optimize the spaces. So the motion heat maps actually show you how, in which area it's really crowded, where a lot of motion is being detected. So the redder an area, the more motion is being detected in that particular space. So it really helps you to optimize the spaces. So especially for retail organizations, this is really interesting because it gives you an idea of where a lot of people moving, how they move within your store, where they stop, and what they find interesting or not. So this is how we, from an analytical point of view, help you to improve your customer experience. When it comes to configuring the devices, it's really easy, okay? So here under settings, you can actually determine what should be recorded and when. You can incorporate privacy windows, so these so-called black boxes that you can draw over a certain area that should not be recorded. You can play with the quality, the video quality, and the video resolution. And as you can see, the number of days that the footage is being kept on your camera then increases. Okay, so all the data, all the raw footage is always being kept on the camera itself. And the good part is that you can decide for yourself how long that data should be kept on the camera. Now, you can also implement a recording schedule if you want to. You can teach the system to only retain footage where motion was being detected. And here you can actually set up the motion alerts for yourself. So if something happens, then an alert is being sent to you via SMS or via webhook, or via email, or via push notification, where you'll receive an alert notification with a snapshot of that particular area, so you know immediately what's happening. Okay, now this is for the cameras. One other thing that I always think is really interesting is the Meraki Vision Portal. And this could be really handy for any of your security guards that you don't want to give access to the dashboard. So in the dashboard, you can configure everything, so all the cameras, all the devices, but here you can only view the cameras and you can perform event searches. So you can also do, by the way, you can do an incident search. But one thing that we can do in the Meraki Vision Portal is that we can look at historical footage based on what people were wearing. So I'm just going to show you this. So I'm going to look at the June 14th. I'm going to select 4 cameras where the attribute search feature is enabled. And then I'm going to tell the system to basically look at only people who are wearing a blue top and blue jeans. And what would happen is that you see basically images and motion recap images popping up where only people meeting those search criteria are being shown. So again, your security guards are able to share this footage, they're able to download it, they're able to export it. So yeah, this is really a very interesting feature that we offer in the Meraki Vision Portal. And just for you guys to know, everything So everything that I've shown you so far, everything is always included in the enterprise license that you would have to purchase if you want to buy a camera or a sensor. Okay, so you never pay any kind of add-on services for all the features that are shown to you over here in the analytics department or on the Meraki Vision portal. Okay, so now, last but not least, the sensors. I think it's really interesting to show you, to give you just an example of what you can do with a sensor. So if I go to here, you see the sensor overview page. Let me just go to this one, the temperature humidity. So here you're able to actually, here you're able to see basically what the temperature humidity levels are. Okay, so this is basically what it would look like. But if I would go to, let me go to the overview page. I want to go to the door open close sensor. And then afterwards, I will hand it off to you, Adam. So let me go to the door open close sensor. So Ant-Man and the Wasp. Well, let me check, otherwise Panhandle, this one. So here, you're supposed to see actually images and graphs that show you when the door has been opened, yes or no. I'm going to try it one more time again before I'm going to hand off to our colleague Adam. MT12, let me check if this one. Well, let me do the kitchen water. Well, let me do the sensor that's able to detect any water leakage. And let me just see over here if I can actually see which of these sensors is connected to a camera. So I see that this water detection sensor is connected to a camera. So I'm going to click on this one. So here you see then that the assigned camera is loading its screen. And then here you see basically the water leakage activity. So this is just an example to show you how easy it is to manage the solution from out of the dashboard and how it can help you to improve your customer experience. Before I end my presentation, I want to highlight that we offer free trials. So in collaboration with our partner Trust Systems, we're able to offer you any free trials that you want to do with any Meraki product. So that also goes for our cameras and our sensors. So you can trial them for free for 30 days or even longer if you wish. And our partner Trust will be able to guide you through that process. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and hand it back over to you. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. And Adam, back over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Vanita. Let me just share my PowerPoint as well. Yeah, really interesting stuff there, Vanita. And I suppose, to start to wrap things up and bring it back to full circle, I think you raised a really interesting point earlier. You mentioned about how all of this Meraki technology helps to provide the underlying infrastructure, whether that's APs, which we didn't speak about as much today, which just helps to, eliminate your Wi-Fi black spots and provide the basis for your point of sale, your stock management, your self-checkouts, or where you can get really creative and clever with technology like your sensors and cameras, which constantly I'm seeing is providing that extra level of data and insights. And it's like you mentioned, provides that basis for businesses to start making informed decisions moving forward. So one example with one of our clients, Aldi, our journey started back, say, 5 or 6 years ago, where we initially provided Wi-Fi connectivity for all of their stores, which was to solve an immediate problem of the poor Wi-Fi within their buildings. And they very quickly realized that there was so much more potential, and the true value came from the possibilities it could open. So they very quickly implemented guest Wi-Fi to help solve that customer problem, and again to collect more data and information on that shopper's journey. But they really sweated that asset of the Meraki kit by implementing digital signage solutions, for example, which for them not only meant that they could move away from printed advertising, but also help to dynamically market towards their customers. And what you're seeing more and more today, retailers love to have data on their customers' journey. So cameras, for example, and sensors is becoming a greater talk point on how people can actually track that customer journey. so they can take all their kit to the next stage and really enable that customer experience. So I think it's quite a nice way to wrap things up there. So I'd almost like to put it back to the people joining us. If we've got any questions in the chat for myself or for Vanita, now would be an excellent time.
I see one. With the growing importance of delivering an immersive physical experience, what are you currently seeing in the market that is supporting retailers?
Good question. I think there's a bit of a twofold answer, which is similar to what I just spoke about. I think, as I mentioned, retailers love to have more data on customers, on their buying preferences, and particularly their shopping experiences, because it's an ever-changing market, and they need to keep up to date. Buying habits are changing, competitors are changing, and having that allows them again to make those informed decisions. How businesses are taking it to the next stage really depends on their strategies. Digital signage is, I think, at the forefront of a lot of people's minds. I'm seeing a lot of companies looking to use technology, whether it's to drive footfall and gain new customers from the high street, or help to provide that more immersive and interactive experience, or even just direct customers around the store. And again, how they best leverage technology comes from the data they have. So using kit like Meraki cameras, they can understand where do customers spend more time in the shop. If certain areas have larger dwell points and then people are spending more time, it's a great opportunity to put something like a digital screen in front of them, market them with some really relevant and up-to-date information, and it's effectively providing this connected store, which I think is where the market is moving more and more towards nowadays, and it's opening up more possibilities. You see a lot of stores nowadays where they're staffless. With Audi, it opened up these new innovation projects such as the Shop and Go, where no colleagues are required, and based on the foundations of technology like Meraki and the work we do in Inherit Trust Systems, it effectively provides that seamless integration of all this kit and allows for an omni-channel experience. So to answer your question, twofold: providing data, what they do next with it. Good example is digital signage, stock management, depends on what the brand is trying to achieve, really.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Fantastic. So if there's no other questions, I think that's a nice period to wrap it up. So again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. We'll be recording. We've recorded the webinar, so we'll send it out to all attendees and we'll put it on our socials. And of course, if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out. We'll have all our information on our socials. My email address, adam.thurgood, THURGOOD @trustsystems.co.uk. And of course, enjoy the rest of your day. Vanita, also, thank you very much for joining us. That was some really insightful information.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Right. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Bye. Have a lovely day.
Take care now. Bye.